All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do it. Germany, circa 1910. We'll start in Berlin. Why not? Um, okay, let's do it.
Isn't my uniform fabulous?
I pity those poor
It doesn't matter what you do, just do it with style.
Don't worry. I'll murder Mr. Red with style. Nothing bad's gonna happen in 1910. Don't be silly.
In this mode, you can try everything out. You have unlimited cash, no competitors, and no tasks to complete.
Okay. All right, Mr. Pink. So obviously for this mode, the reason I turned off the music is we're going to turn in the in-game music because it's like our finale here. So let's turn on some in-game music. Okay. Let's think about this. So, and all research is unlocked. You know what that means? It means we get some real trains. So what's a good place to set up a line? Where's a line? Someone name someplace in Germany that isn't Berlin. While we're doing that, Leipzig. Oh, okay, it's not super far, but it's right there. We can make that our goal. We got this. We got this. Okay, so go and get our first station going. Königsberg. I'll check that in a second. Hamburg. I am a hamburger. Sorry. There's Weimar, there's Dresden. Where are we? There's Cologne. Hamburg. Nothing up north. That's right. I will own everything. I will control everything. Innsbruck is here. Yeah, I know Vienna's right there. Doesn't go too much further east. We've got Lissa, we've got Posen, Romberg, Thorn, Elbing up here. Oh, there we go. What's that? Königsberg. There's Königsberg. We can do that. Let's do that. Berlin to Königsberg. That feels like a good line. All right, so let's conquer everything. Yes. Okay, so how do I want to do this? Well, let's start with something basic. Let's get some bread. And let's connect north, because we're going to get up to Königsberg eventually. And Hamburg, which is also north. Set this up kind of like that. There we go. Most evil character in this game? Well, that's obvious. The player character. I mean, seriously. I love how our money value is literally just the infinity symbol. Just straight up. How much money do you have? Yes. Yes, I do. But how much? You're not listening to me. Let me make this very clear. If it's not us, it's probably that jackass from that one mission who was constantly being like, "You're never gonna succeed because I'm a dick." Oh no, Ben One Eye. I'd love to hear it, regardless of the particulars. Look, New York guy, he's just misunderstood, you know? It's been a long day. Constantly trying to force people to do his bidding by hurting and killing them. Frickin' Vanderbilt. It's an honest life. By definition, no, but I get your point. Go and connect that up there. I really fallen in love with this try setup here. Like, I've already gotten tired of the in-game music. Turn that back off. Don't worry. I had a plan in mind for this, just in case. I have a specific song for this. Okay. And then we've got those. Let's go ahead. Let's see. So what do you want? Nothing, actually. I'd say points if you could guess the song, but I play it too often. Because it's really good builder game music. Like, seriously, it might be some of the best builder game music I've ever heard. Like, Stellaris music is great, but Stellaris music is like kind of catch-all sci-fi. This is... Oh, it's so good. Alright, let's... That's a giant field of nothing. Look at that. Let's get some trains set up here. And here. And an actual train station. Yeah, exactly what I want. I'm still waiting for step 2. Then when I... Well, if you don't know, Blitval, I'll give it a second so you can guess if you really want to. Keep going to Konigsberg up here. I'm just going to connect all the way to Konigsberg right now. Screw it. What's that? Oil! Oh my god. You know what that means. Does Factorio have music? Like, surely it does, but I suddenly can't picture any in my head. Oh my god, that feels weird. I've beaten Factorio, vanilla. I can't remember if it has. No, okay. Listen, it really left an impact on me, clearly. Music. Does Factorio have music? I remember the sound design of Factorio extremely well, because the sound design in Factorio is phenomenal. But I can't picture a single song in my head right now. I mean, that's probably exactly what happened, is I just turned it off and started doing my own music after a while. That's what I'm doing right now for this very game. Sound design is good. Very good thing to point out. Call that soundscape. Okay, so we've got our line up to Koenigsberg. Oh, hang on. Let's get the cattle connected here. The answer, by the way, is Surviving Mars. It sort of stuck with me because it was one of the first things I commented on when we were streaming Surviving Mars, was the soundtrack, because it was strangely legit. Okay. So, here's our real trains. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's some real trains. Okay. There's the 151, the Hudson, the Super Hudson, and the Mallard. What do we got? What do we got? So, this thing, the 151 is the Hills train. The Mallard is the express train. Which one of these is like the passenger train? Looks like that's also the express train. So let's do... Where's my hauler? The GT2X44? Because that's the first one down that's a mixed. Like, the 151's clearly freight. And yeah. Speaking of, let's get a 151 going. Start hauling some freight. I want to see this thing. I want to see it. Now, that's a train. Hell yeah. I know this 1830s crap. Load up all that wheat, boys. Looks like bread's back on the menu. Bad, that rift person. Unmemorable music just fades into the background, especially if you can turn it off. Bad music actively detracts from the experience, you know? Yes, that's true. Bad music teaches where the audio options are. Assuming they're there. Which, you know, it might be. Yeah, or your speaker controller. Where's the mute button? Where's the mute button? It's extremely rare I give a game a negative for music. In fact, I'm actually trying to think of an example that off the top of my head. Because usually... Sorry, let me be more clear about that. Usually when I give a game a negative for music, it's specifically for music repetition, not for the music just sucking, right? I actually did notice that, Ben one time. It's hard to see from some of the camera angles, though. I'm looking at the audit sheet right now, seeing if there's any places where, like, I gave a game a negative just for the music sucking. Oh, there you go. Drakengard! No offense to my 3 Drakengard fans in the chat, but that music sucks. Also, technically speaking, System Shock 1. That's a bit of a technically, but it's still true. Alright, let's make that bread. Do you mean the money? No, I literally mean make some bread. Oh. Okay. Breath of Fire 2 did get a song negative, and if you want to know why, I can inform you of why. Would you like to hear why Breath of Fire 2 got a song negative? Sorry. Yes. Yes. Yes! Okay, so... for passenger liners... What's this one? These are all express. Let's just do this one next. By the way, it's already looped. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. And then let's set up another line to Stettin. Yeah. So we used the Hudson, we used the 151. Let's use the Super Hudson here. We did give a negative for Bois. 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 And Mook constantly reminds me that they actually like that song. Every time I bring it up. And let's set this up between Berlin and... Danzig. It's a nice long trip. Okay, let's follow along with one of these. What are you? This is the Berlin to Stettin one. This is the Hudson, I think? I mean, that makes sense, Bleachball. Hello? Okay. There we go, okay. What is this? Hang on. Wait, this is the Super Hudson, my bad. So this is our Super Hudson. Ignore the Hudson that's pulling ahead of us. Ah, no! Jesus. Oh, that's, the death train there. Can't even get a good angle of it. Do this way. There we go. There's our Doom train. Look at that thing. Now that's a train right there. Look at that beauty. Yeah. Hang on. What's this? That's the 151, I think. No, this is the Hudson. This is the regular Hudson. That's the 151. There's our express train. This thing looks weird. Look at this thing. Look at that thing. It's the Mallard. What's its horn sound like? It's kind of boring. What else we got? So is this the Hudson or that's the Super Hudson? So where's the regular Hudson? Yeah, this thing. It's a nice girthy whistle there. I like that. How do we maintain the wheels? That's a good question, actually. Because, yeah, there's some issues with that. I don't know, is going to be my answer to that. And yes, I think I did give Pokemon Red a music negative. I know Pokemon Red got a song negative. I know it did for the lab entertainment. And I know that because everyone was like, no! You can't give it a negative. I was like, yeah, I can. They're like, no! And I was like, no, it's getting the negative. I'm sorry. It's literally a headache-inducing song. Literally. I'm sorry. No. Negative. No debate on that one. Let's just put these everywhere here. Just make sure these people have lots of supplies. It's okay. We've got lots of torpedoes. I mean, money. Listen, if I'm not allowed to be wrong sometimes, how could I ever possibly be right? Yeah, you gotta think ahead like that. And up here. I mean, hell, later covers of the very same song have done a better job of it. And pause. Why are these wildly out of order? Here's Cerulean City. Here's the Caves of Mount Moon. Here's Professor Oak's theme. Here's Route 1's theme. Here's Vermilion again. There we go. Okay. So I want a hauler, which means a 151. And let's just do a full line of the towns for the hauler. Whoops. Now there's also, hang on. So that's obviously the Switch version of that song. But even back on the Game Boy Advance, which is not known for its good sound quality, we got this. So this is before Vermilion. There we go. There we go. Freight only. You notice the big difference between both of these is they stop, like, being ear-piercingly painful to listen to. Which is kind of the biggest thing, really. Like, the idea of the song is fine, although I'm going to stop that now. The idea of the song's fine. It's just, you know, it literally is physically painful to listen to. I don't know what else to add to that. Anyways. Ooh, cities are over. Yay. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so you need bread. Yeah, you can find good Game Boy soundtracks. Kirby's Adventure is a good example. We even talked about that because the composer of that game very specifically went out of his way to make music for the Game Boy. One of the very rare composers to do exactly that. As strange as that sounds. Let's set up the 151 here. Get some bread going. There we go. Let's go and buy this place. Yes. And then let's expand the business. Yeah, exactly, Lidfell. Some of the Wario series actually did a similar thing. Okay, so you want bread. Japan bread. Oh, the backlighting. Yeah, there's a reason I didn't really get into the GBA until the SP showed up. I need pigs. I need lots of pigs. I need so many pigs. Oh my god, what do you need? More pigs? No, you need grain. I can make you grain. I can get you grain, sir. Have some grain. What? Oh, right. I gotta do this irritant. Alright, so let's set up maintenance bays everywhere. I'm telling you, it'd be nice to just kind of bake maintenance bays into, you know, normal construction. Just charge me another 80,000 whatevers. Marks in this case. Yeah, we're already having breakdowns everywhere. There we go. Okay. Look at that. Look at all those breakdowns. Yes, that Rift person. Yes, I do. I know exactly what that was like. Alright, because, yeah, I played Pokemon Gen 2 and 1 on a Game Boy Color. What? What? Where? How? You have... I've got supplies out the wazoo. There's supplies right there. Use the supplies. What is wrong with you? Here, have another thing of supplies. And here, have another thing of supplies. Put supplies there. I will have supplies bleeding out your ears. Nope, nope. It's clearly Marks. Because it starts with an M. Although taller sounds cool. Cooler, so what the hell do I know? Wait, this is 1910. Aha! I have found Von Falkenstein out. It's just cosmetic anyways. I mean, we've kind of already seen that. Okay. So now that we've got some real trains, and we've got some real lines, let's go ahead and set up a Super Hudson, so we can enjoy the ride. And I want it from Berlin to Königsberg. No stops. Passengers only. Let's do this. Yeah, that's a nice sound right there. That's probably my favorite whistle right there. Pretty sure this is the Super Hudson. Decently fast. This thing's going almost 70 miles an hour. No, I don't know what that is in kph. Don't ask. Wait. Oh my god, where is it? Maybe staring right at it. There it is. There we go. No, I haven't tried Dragon Age 4 yet. Apparently you were right on the nose there, Von Falkenstein. It is 109.43 kilometers per hour. Oh, it's easy. You're supposed to say Koenig zig, 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 zig. Play Jamal, obviously. I have no idea. The odds of Dragon Age 4 not getting played this year are 0. Like, or I guess 0.01. Like, if I get run over by a car tomorrow, then yeah, we won't play Dragon Age 4 this year. I actually didn't know that about Falkenstein. That's kind of cool. Alright, I'll just plow through this train here. There we go. Alright, let's get rocking. Why, Lord Haremont? This way I don't have to play Dragon Age 4. You know, Ben One Eye, maybe this is me, but I kind of prefer this view, because I can actually see the frickin' train up here. I can't see the terrain as much, that's true, but like I can see this, you know? I can see the people running the train, I can see the smoke coming out. Look at that. I don't know, I just think that's a better view. Any thoughts? Really, I'm actually curious of anyone else's perspective here. You can also hear the whoa still, like you still get the enjoyment of the whistle up here. I honestly just wish the ride-along mode had less of a restricted camera. Or it had a top view. Wish it had a full 360. I know this is pure association, but I can't hear this song without thinking trains at this point in my life. Like, this is like the train song to me. See, there's my biggest wish list item for Railway Empire 2. Add a 360 camera to the ride-along mode. Preferably up top. So that way I can actually look at the train while looking at the scenery at the same time. Oh, speaking of that little spigot thing, yep, see? Just pour that water into the train. And sand? Where's the sand come in? Ah, whatever. That's really funny, Ben, when I... In a good way. What was that noise? Here we go. Here's a clear train song. It does. I actually think... I said this earlier. I think this game looks better than several modern games do. I know at least some of that is just the usual I'm tired of it thing, which happens in every era. But like I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of the modern high fidelity nonsense that has no design to it. Like the ultimate litmus test I tend to use of that is I show people a shot of a certain game and then another game and another game, and I say which one's which. Identify these games on site. And in a lot of cases you can't, because there's nothing there, right? There's nothing to anchor. There's nothing to be like, oh, well, that's clearly such and such, right? It's just, it's another building. Oh, wow, 2 stops. Man, this is a long ride, ain't it? For the last haul here, let's go down here. In a good way or a bad way, Ben wanted? Because that could be a good thing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Oh, I think we're here. And we made it! Woo! Königsberg, however you pronounce that. The race for Antarctica.
Königsberg.
Königsberg. I'm gonna try, but I'm not gonna remember that. I'm just gonna be honest. Königsberg. Königsberg. No, I don't on Falkenstein. I used to have that information, but it's just not there right now. See, I've heard Kaliningrad said before. You know what? Yeah, I'm actually curious. Let's look this up, Ben. Hang on. Let me pull up Steam. Let's see. These people apparently put out Tropico. I did not know that. There it is. Railway Empire 2. Let's do this. Hey, Milker Blake, give me 1 second, please. I want to see this. Okay. Thank you for the sub, Milker Blade. Always. Whoop. Oh, okay, whatever. I will jot that down. For Rayman Legends. Jedi Fallen Order. FF7R1. Interface definitely looks more colorful, I can tell right now. And the trains themselves have... Oh, the trains have a dye mode, so you can actually set up colors on the trains now. That's interesting. Yeah, I've also always heard it Koenigsegg with regards to the car. Then again, I pronounce it Jaguar, so what the hell do I know? Uh, 8 years ago now? Look, you can make fun of Jaguar all you want. Jaguar will never stop sounding bad to my ear. Like, every time I hear Jaguar, I just flinch just a little bit. What are you driving? Oh, I'm driving a Jaguar. Ugh. There's co-op? Railway Empire 2 has co-op. Yeah, Jaguar. That's what I just said. It's also how it's spelled. Not that British people have any right to say anything about how something's spelled. Worcester sauce. Anyways. Okay. Yeah, Jaguar. I've literally always called it Jaguar. Like, that goes back to at least the 90s. Yeah, Leicester. Or Leicester, I think, actually. Yeah, Worcester... For those of you not aware of the joke, Worcester is spelled Worcestershire. Because the British would not know pronunciation if it walked up and smacked him in the face. Okay, nobody else does either. Nobody knows pronunciation. That's just how it works. Nobody in the world can pronounce anything correctly. That's just... We all just accept that. We all make fun of each other for it, but really, we all do it. Lumber and vegetables, huh? How many vegetables nearby? Lumber way up there. Beets down there. Seriously, there's no vegetables? Are there no vegetables in Germany? Oh my god. Okay, I found some vegetables. Well, shoot, that was kind of like the last thing I really wanted to do, was there was that big ride across Germany. You know what? I have an idea. I have an idea. I hope this has been at least a moderately enjoyable stream, Benwana. This one, Benwana is like, it sucked horribly, and I hate you for it. There we go. All of Japan. There we go.
Are you a man or a mouse? This is no time to hesitate.
I always tell the truth, even
Oh my
when I'm
God.
lying.
Look at the outfits. Oh my god.
You should choose me.
The rest are just the business plan.
It doesn't matter what you do, just...
Well, do we need a bit more thinking time?
Strong leadership and
Don't ask questions about my business. The less you know, the better.
Sure. Sure. Why not? Why not? It's time to... Have you ever actually watched sumo? Because it's actually kind of fascinating. It's very WWF, except Japanese.
Now you can let your imagination run wild. Unlimited cash, no obligations, and no annoying competitors.
Damn right. Death to competitors. Okay, so let's do this. Let's set this up. Let's set this up. Damn right. Full Monopoly mode engaged. Oh, you know what? Did not place? It did not place. There we go. It really does, actually, Melkor Blade. This is on random, believe it or not. So, you know, lucking into that. Kyoto. Not sure. We'll go with that. Have our first overwater bridge there. Haven't done that yet. get as much of the decor as I can here. I'm actually going to put that more over the lake. There we go. What are these even called? Like the tourist trains? You know what I'm talking about? Japan actually has several of these. Pure recreational trains. You just get on and enjoy the ride and the sights. And, you know, usually really nice food, too. And it's really expensive, because of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Yeah, no, exactly, Nerd. That's kind of the thing I'm talking about, where you just sit there and enjoy the view as you're going by. No. The bullet trains are the I want to get someplace right now trains. That's like business or transit. This is recreation. Yeah, sure, we'll have one big tunnel. Why not? Just for Ben One Eye. Also curious how long this trip is going to be. How do you do a double tunnel? How's that even possible? Okay, you know what? I have an idea. Just for you, Ben One Eye. Suddenly Breath of Wild music. Okay, there's our first line. Okay, where's the tunnel? Where's the tunnel? Of course. Alright, new plan. Delete the tunnel. Delete the tunnel? Yeah, just delete the whole tunnel, please. Do you know how many months we spent tunnel? Yeah, just delete it, please. Yeah, this is just like the entirety of the Zelda playlist. So I got everything in here. Yeah, we just... Everyone go back, fill in the tunnel, please. You want us to fill in the... Yes, fill in the tunnel right now. Are you high? Just fill in the tunnel. It's fine, what? You high? Well, I mean, a little. Listen, I just dropped a bunch of... I don't know what kind of drug you... Hey, someone who does drugs. What do you drop? Other than the beat. Obviously. Uppers. It doesn't help as much as I'd like. What's an upper? Drop the ball. Okay, fair. Aha! Wait, you can drop marijuana? God, you can tell I'm out of date on my lingo. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I have a downer too. It's called Fox News. If I want to lose faith in humanity, they got my back. There used to be a Reddit thread back when I used Reddit before they decided to destroy Reddit for no good reason. You remember that? Back when Reddit was actually worth a damn. Anyways, it was called Wholesome something? Wholesome memes or something? I don't know, but it was just wholesome stories. Like, that's all it was. That was the whole gimmick, was here's some wholesome stuff. And that's what I used to read to re-engage in faith in humanity. Yes, actually, Matt Overlord. Although, A, screw Fox News in particular, because screw them. And B, more people recognize Fox News than just saying mainstream news media, which doesn't really roll off the tongue the same way. Almost done. Almost done. God, does anyone even watch CNN anymore? If so, why? If we go back to like one newspaper a month, I think that'd be a better format. I'm just saying. Okay. Yeah, like 150 years ago, Mr. Ed. Okay. We have 2 new trains. What are these? We're gonna use this one, obviously. Well, hang on. Let's do like a test run. Let's see what their trains, like what their horns sound like, the whistles. Unpause. What's the issue? Why are we paused? Why are we paused? Oh my god. That's kind of a crap line. I don't like that. Delete the train. Sure, there's people on that train. Delete the train! Let's see what the other one sounds like. I mean, it's fine, but it's too high-pitched. What else we got? I guess we could go with the... It's so much slower. Like, that is noticeably slower. I guess speed isn't really the goal here. I know, right, Matt Overlord? It's almost like that was actually a practice for a really long time. Honestly, even as recently as, I want to say, the 60s, there was a big push to slow down news generation, specifically to try and do, journalism. Actual journalism. Nice, Lynerith. Congrats. You're just that buff. Yeah, she's super strong. If I went to arm wrestle right now, Lynerith would just crush me. With her legs, of course, because she'd just be like, whap! Like Chun-Li me right in the face. Screw it. I want the Hudson. Go away. Stop existing. Hudson sounds cooler. Hang on 1 second. I don't want to lose my train of thought here. I want a line from Ashikawa. Hang on. To Kagoshima? Oh no, it doesn't connect. Why doesn't it connect? Where does it not connect? Where's the disconnect? Here. Why is this a not connect? What's the issue here? Thank you, Kira White Noise. For 7 years. And give me a moment here. Wait, is it 7? Yeah, that's 7, right? What the heck is abandoned ship? Abandoned ship. Monster Hunter World. Damn it, I knew it, Von Falkenstein. There's only room for one of us in this world. Monster Hunter World and per Aspera. There we go. Okay, so why? Is it because I set up this stupid double line? I'm gonna laugh. If it's because I set up this stupid double line and now the whole rail is broken. What do you want to bet that's actually it? Damn it! Damn you, Ben One Eye! Sure, that's good now. Actually, leg wrestling's a real thing, and I've done it because I actually had, when I was in better shape, really strong legs. Okay, Ashikawa. Okay, that apparently fixed it. So we can just do that now. Alright, so we'll do the Hudson, because it sounds coolest. Hang on, we gotta do something else first. It's gonna be right over here. So I want a new train. Okay. Okay, so give me a second. Save, because that was actually a lot of work and effort to do all that. Okay. So it's gonna be on the left or right? Shoot. Damn it. Hang on. Gonna be on the right. Okay. Yeah, no, this is it, Ben One Eye. We're gonna do one last ride. while I finish up the audit. Oh yeah, and if you haven't got your guess in, this is a good time, because I technically am closing the guessing game right now. See, that's a train whistle right there. Listen to that sucker. Listen to that. Damn it, Ben One-Eye. Get back here, track! I know you didn't answer the earlier question, but I hope at least everyone else has enjoyed this review for what it's worth. This has been a fascinating game. I'll give more of these thoughts towards the end, but this is not at all what I expected, is how I'm going to describe that. In a good way, but, like, in a weird way. Very strange. Okay, so, let's see. It was also rather funny. What was I expecting? So, how do I explain this? I keep talking about how this is very board gamey. I'm not being facetious. Like, that's not some kind of vague statement, right? Well, yeah, no, Takoda's kind of hitting the nail on the head of what I'm talking about here. There's not a lot of depth going on, but kind of in a fun way. Like I said, it's very board gaming. It feels like this started its life as a board game or something similar. Place meep here, assign thing here, pull thing here, this raises this, you get it. I'm with it, and it is enjoyable. I also, so another thing I was not expecting was for the scenarios to be worth a damn. But they were. Like, several of the maps were actually really cool. I also appreciated the flavor, which is why the story axis is higher than I was expecting it to be. Hey, Czar. I mean, pretty much everything you're seeing on the screen right now is what I mean when I say flavor, especially when it comes to a strategy game like this. People, the noises, the visuals, the trip, right? Honestly, it's so obvious in hindsight, but making a train management sim where you can just ride along the train is such a dumb move that I cannot believe I haven't heard of this before. I'm sure other train games did this before, because, you know, we had Railroad Tycoon, like 1, 2, 3, 8, 17, and 36. And then we had a couple other Railroad Tycoon wannabes for a while there, so I'm sure they did that too, I just have no memory of it. This is when everyone jumps in and says, yes! Or conversely, no! Also, I'm curious how long this trip is going to take. We started in June. It's currently October. Yeah, no, exactly, D20. That's exactly what I'm wondering. And I know there's Open TTD, which is actually on the list, although it's nowhere near funded. We're going from North Japan to South Japan. And I kind of deliberately didn't pick the best, fastest train, because I wanted to be able to do this. Good to know, Takoda. I haven't even fired it up yet, so it should be nice. this. Okay. Oh, hey, we could see it on this view. What I should do. Over here. There you go. Once we hit, like, say, February-ish, I'll turn it back to the other mode. We're in November, by the way. We've been on this train for months. It's been 87 years. I don't think I've fired up Loop Hero. I guess we'll find out, because I'm going to have to fire it up before I stream. By definition. To get it on the camera. Oh yeah, super safe. We barely have clearance. Look at that. That's what I'm saying, Traxia. This is the luxury line. We'll call this the Ben One Eye line. You just sit and enjoy the ride for a few months. Live on the train. I did not like that incline. Speaking of poison gas tunnels. Yeah. Probably, look. I feel like there's some physicsy problems there. One or two. Oh, I think we might finally be getting to the next point. Yep. Alright, I'm gonna pay attention here. This is for you, Ben One Eye. Half of that setup was for this. Maybe. Maybe. Well, okay, hang on. First let's refill. Hang on. Okay. Now this is for you. Maybe. Maybe? It's not February, by the way. We left in June. Come on. Yes! Through the tunnel. Oh, no! Why are you on the same track? I gave you the second track so you could use the other track. Oh, whatever. I did all that issue and got that second parallel track just so we could see the train go by. And the train's like, nope! Sucks to be you. Ugh. Ah, damn it. I did forget to waypoint it, yes. I will acquiesce to that. All that nonsense for nothing. Well, it's March now, which means we gotta get the visibility here. So we can see the pink! Cherry blossoms are in bloom. Not yet, Blades of Fall. Yeah, by the way, a random breakdown can still happen. It's worth noting, so that might be fun. That'll be fun. Train broke down. Run someone down the track so they could flag anybody coming in. That's 5 miles that way. Well, you better start running then, Cupcake. Okay. Look at this bridge. Look at this bridge. Good God. How many forests died to make this bridge? Oh yeah, and keep dying, because, you know, we gotta replace the wood periodically. No, what happened, Loke? Or is it just the Iron Chancellor lady? Tourists. Oh God, Ben One Eye. That's even worse. Bridge just starts creaking. See, I can't speak ill of tourists because, you know, I am one. Or at least I hope to be one someday. I can speak ill of stupid people. That's different. Stupid people are just stupid. Why are we stopping? Do we have a breakdown? We did have a breakdown. We had our breakdown, everyone. Look. Thankfully, no part of the train is actually on the bridge. Probably not, Luke. Whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. Back to this. I mean, I do plan to eat good food and visit some sites, you know. Spend way too much money on, like, the Kirby Cafe. Yeah, I think I've seen that happen once, Ben One Eye. I mean, honestly, the food's kind of a big thing, I'm not gonna lie. There's such a thing as a food tour. And that's something I'd like to do someday. See, that's not a tourist thing, Luke. I'm gonna be real. That's a different problem right there. That's someone who's just insane. I've actually been on 2 wine tours in my life. As you might imagine, I didn't drink anything, but I was there as part of family. One was up in Washington, the other was out in the middle of absolutely nowhere in the Sacramento farmlands. The valley. Like, you get my point, though, right, Logue? It's... one asshole decided to steal from the cookie jar. Therefore, nobody gets cookies, right? And they're going to blame tourists rather than people, which is going to make it even worse, because at that point, that's just going to lead to even more anti-non-Japanese sentiment, which is already a problem in Japan. And might have been Melkor Blade. It was up in the... it wasn't actually in Seattle, but it was near Seattle. Yeah, no, exactly. It's the bad apple, and it's just like, ugh, guys. Guys. It's that, what was this, a few years ago, some asshole was trying to climb The Pyramid of Giza, you remember that? And Egypt is like, we're going to shut down our entire border because of this one asshole. And it's like, guys. Yeah, could you behave like a human being for 10 minutes? Could you not be a 3-year-old for 10 minutes? I mean, yeah, no, that's actually another great example of that, Ross. I remember even reading about that. The freaking... Someone, what kind of psychotic dickhead throws a glass bottle onto a sports field? Like, think about how many steps of insanity you have to be through to actually do something like that. Because that's not one problem, if you think about it. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, I bet you money, Logue, this is presumptive, but I bet you money they're just trying to close down the borders more in like a soft closing kind of a way. Because every country in the world is doing that right now. I know, Japan being isolationist, who would have ever thought? So I'm looking at the audit sheet, right? And I love this because so far we've had 3 strategy management games that we have covered that have not gotten a negative to tutorialization. If you're wondering, that's Mind Over Magic, Stardew Valley, and 2 Point Hospital. Infrastructure's cool. Oh, did we just have a breakdown? Yep, we just had another breakdown. Once again, barely missing the bridge there. This poor train. It's January. This has taken us over a year. We left in June. The previous year. We're at like a year and a half of this trip now. Oh no, 2 Point games have solid tutorialization. And I was impressed with Mind Over Magic for basically the same reason. So that's... I think the approximate number of Trihexia would be a lot. This particular train is, well, I'll tell you in a second when we get going again. So we get this train. Can someone push? Ugh. There we go. $84 miles an hour, Trihexia. I don't know what that is in KPH. What was this it? Are we here? Are we here? No, we're still not there. We're never gonna make it! We're never gonna make it. We should do the final step at night, just for Benno and I. There we go. Yes, this is what I want to see at night. See, the problem is, I don't give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, if I'm wrong, then that's awesome. And they're just trying to improve the situation and spend money, and that's cool. If I'm right, well, then that sucks. Okay. Oh, I have no idea, Trihexia. I guess we can Google Maps it really quick while we're waiting here. So let's see. Okay, so we started up here. Get directions. And here. Yep, there's where we're heading, right there. Okay, so this trip is almost dead on 2,000 kilometers. Almost to a T. So that means, how much are we going? 135 an hour. Hang on. Divided by... This would be about a 15-hour trip at this speed on this route, give or take. That's a hell of a trip, but that's basically the length it took me to drive up, you know, to here. Which is funny, because I think it's a shorter distance. Oh, no. Are we there? Do we make it? Do we make it? Nope, never mind. Damn it, we're still not there. We're never gonna make it. Let's see, 2,000 kilometers is about 1,200 miles, give or take. Okay, Railway Empire. Heck yeah. I mentioned I'd say this at the end. I did enjoy this for what it's worth, and I'm happy. This is a really good spot to put it down. Like I said earlier, games like this, you want to put down while you're still having fun with it. Not when you've gotten to the point where you're sick of it. I already mentioned this yesterday, and I stand by it. That's the kind of thing you want to do. So this is a good time. This is a good time to put this down, walk away from it. As I mentioned several times, the abstracting and the board gaming is interesting and made the game more, fun. I don't want to say more fun. It made the game fun Because obviously some thought and design was put into it. Oh, by the way, we're here! That took about 2 years. 2 straight up years. Holy crap. Holy God. Across Japan. We did it! We did it! There's even still some pink trees. Mr. Pink! I like the abstracting. I do wish there was a little more depth on some level. But I don't regret there not being more depth, if that makes any sense. It is doubly interesting that they kept adding DLCs that added new mechanics, even if those new mechanics were kind of simple. Like adding the territories thing was a mechanic they added in. And then the Traveler's mode into the Japan stuff, and the whole building your own settlements thing in Australia. If anybody's looking for a recommendation, obviously Sandbox mode is fun. But if you ever want to just like sit down and play the game with, with limitations, with money restrictions, having to actually set up your lines, etc., I highly recommend doing the Australia scenario. I know that sounds strange because it's like the super optional hard mode scenario, but it's really cool the way they light it up and set it up, and it's kind of like a free roam mode but with objectives, and you kind of decide the tempo and pace of which towns you build as you're going. And you set it. There's another little detail I didn't mention when I was going through that. Because as you set up those lines, so you have to supply settlements with resources for them to turn into towns. But the side thing there is that those settlements will then already have lines, giving them the resources they need to immediately grow. So you're kind of front-loading some of the infrastructure design of trying to develop the towns in making the town to begin with, so it's not complete wasted time and effort and money. And it's just a very cool map in general. But I suppose you want some numbers, so... +6 to story. Honestly, more than I was expecting. Early on, I was getting kind of graded on because a lot of the dialogue was bad in the American campaign. But there was better stuff after that, thank God. And, some of the people shut up. But also, I like the newspapers. I like everything we just did, riding on the train across the entirety of Japan. Here, look, there's our train right there. Just making its way north. Yeah, let's double speed it so we can kind of see it. And I like the visuals. I like the effort put into the trains. I like the sound effect. I like the soundscaping. It's good. That is... Where's my numbers? Here we go. About 1/3 of a positive per hour to story and an 80% ratio. All of that's good numbers. All those are good numbers. Plus 18 to gameplay. That's actually a little low for a strategy sim, but that makes sense given what we just talked about. And that's still a really solid score. That's still 1 1/3 positives per hour, and a ratio of 71%, which is well above average. All of that gives us our final golden number of... Drum roll, please. Let's see, who won it? Yeah, let me write down the winning really quick here. So it's going towards... Lord Hairmont, congrats, you won, because the final golden number was 50.21. And you guessed 50. That is a solid score for a solid game that has some bumps. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to lie to you. Biggest negatives to the game, just kind of vague takeaway. The interface is not good. The controls have some issues. Some of the HUD has issues. There's some info and game issues. And you have to go through too many menus to accomplish relatively basic things. The fact that one of the most common things you'll do, which is making a new train line, doesn't have a hotkey is an extremely strange choice. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. However, I like almost everything else about it, honestly. I like the visuals. I like the style. I like the mechanics. I like the line setups. I like the in-game economy. I'm with it. I recommend it if you're interested. I have no idea about the second game. I've heard nothing about the second game. It's mixed on Steam, but for like really weird reasons. So who knows that? Yeah, exactly, Kira White Noise. Solid game. You could do much worse. Moving on. I'm going to go chop off, obviously. I also desperately need to lay down because I'm exhausted. One of these days, I'll have a day where I'm not exhausted. Or that's just the rest of my life. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But either way, after this, we'll be playing Loop Hero. I'll see you next time.